New CBS News polling shows President Biden trailing former President Donald Trump in two key states, Arizona and Florida.
Yeah, you recall back in 2020, Florida backed Donald Trump in the election, while Arizona voted blue for the first time since 1996. Now, both candidates have been out on the campaign trail over the weekend trying to shore up their support. President Biden traveled to Atlanta, where he delivered the commencement address at Morehouse College, and he told graduates that he hears their voices of protest over the war between Israel and Hamas. That was just one of the issues, though, that he spoke about as students at the historically black college in the battleground state of Georgia listened in.
We all bleed the same color. In America, we're all created equal. Extremists close the doors of opportunity. Strike down affirmative action. Attack the values of diversity, equality, and inclusion. They don't see you in the future of America, but they're wrong. To me, we make history, not erase it.
Meanwhile, President Trump was in Dallas over the weekend, where he formally accepted an endorsement from the National Rifle Association. During his keynote address at the group's annual convention, Trump urged gun owners to turn out and vote, saying, quote, "We want a landslide." Let's bring in CBS News political correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns. Caitlin, I was at Morehouse on Friday filming a different story, and I asked a couple of students, how they felt about Biden's address. And, this is an all-male black university. They said, look, the two people I asked said, we'd rather have somebody with our shared experience represent us and inspire us. So he was having a hard time there on campus as we saw there were protests. What else is the campaign doing to win over voters, and did so over the weekend?
Well, Lilia, as you know, campaigns don't go anywhere by accident, and where they go tells you a lot about where they think the campaign is and what potential vulnerabilities they have. And so it was really telling that Biden spent the weekend trying to shore up support among black voters. As you mentioned, he gave that commencement address at Morehouse in Atlanta. Atlanta, obviously, in the key battleground state of Georgia. He also spoke to the NAACP dinner over the weekend in Detroit, of course, in that key battleground state of Michigan. And what's interesting is when you look at our polling, our CBS News polling in both Michigan and in Georgia, you see Biden's support among black voters softening compared to the turnout that he got among black voters in 2020. So he's still leading by wide margins against Donald Trump among black voters, but that support is softening. And this is something that the campaign has acknowledged. I mean, Kamala Harris has been out on an economic tour targeting black voters specifically, and specifically in many ways black male voters as well. So this is a vulnerability that the campaign knows about, that they're trying to address. But as you mentioned, at Morehouse is also indicative of the overall challenge of this campaign, which is every time they go to speak to a specific group or try to target a specific issue, they are met with protests over the administration's handling of the Hamas-Israel war.
Yeah. And then, of course, if you turn your back on President Biden, Caitlin, as some people in the audience did, are you turning toward the alternative candidate, which is Donald Trump? I don't know that he would have policies that these folks would agree with either. And speaking of Donald Trump, he had a nice long weekend break from the courthouse. He had his son's graduation on Friday, so that was a day off from court. And then he had some campaign time. Where did he go? What did he say? What do you know?
Yeah, and Tony, you make a really good point. And when you talk to Democrats, they also say that a big challenger in this election is apathy. And they are concerned, there's a concern about voters not necessarily moving over to Donald Trump, but just not showing up. And especially when you look at young voters. When it comes to Donald Trump, yes, he was outside of the courthouse this weekend, and it was also telling where he went. He went to Minnesota on Friday to speak to a Republican dinner there. Minnesota is a place that Democrats have been winning for a long time, not necessarily a battleground state, but the Trump campaign has been insisting that they can be competitive there. And he reiterated his false claims about election fraud. And that's telling, too, because he's already starting to kind of thread that needle and raise doubts about this election coming up, of course, all unfounded. Then over the weekend, he also spoke to the NRA convention. And this is significant. He received an endorsement from the NRA, of course, not surprising. But what's significant here is that he seemed to express some concern that this group may not show up and vote. This is a very reliable base of support for Republicans Republicans, especially for Donald Trump, a key part of his coalition. And he kind of repeatedly said, you really need to go out. Don't sit this one out. You need to go out and vote. So again, an effort to really shore up a base of support in an election that's really going to be a base versus base election. But what's also important to note about the NRA is it was once a powerful gun lobby, but there are lots of questions about how powerful it can be. Can it be powerful in terms of raising money in support of Donald Trump? Of course, we know that that is a vulnerability for his campaign.
Great point. Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you.
Thank you.